Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 14 Pro and see how it compares against the iPhone, well, just the newer iPhones of this day and age, but also how it holds up in the later part of 2024. Now, the number one thing to keep in mind here is that, in my personal opinion, I definitely do think a device like the iPhone 14 Pro still holds up extremely well. This is an excellent iPhone. I think this thing still looks very beautiful, and if you are going to go through and pick up a device, I do think this is a very solid option. So this is in and of itself, I think, a very good device to pick up from that particular perspective. Now, starting off with the outside, this phone still looks very beautiful in my personal opinion. This device, you're still basically getting and maintaining a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display, and I genuinely do think it's still a very good looking display. It's not perfect, right? It's definitely not the most perfect panel of all time, but I still think this is a very good looking display. I think it's very sharp for the most part. And if you are going to go through and pick up a device, I think this is a very good option in and of itself. So I do think that is kind of one of those big things to keep in mind there. Now, on top of that, you're still maintaining a device that still looks very good. You're getting these flat sides on it, reflective sides too. The last iPhone with reflective sides. You're also basically going through and getting a device that's still going to feel very expensive. You're getting the lightning port at the bottom. This was the last iPhone to bring lightning. Frosted glass back, triple camera setup, and overall this is still an iPhone that I think holds up very well in a lot of different ways, right? If you're going to go through and pick up a device, I think a device like this still holds up well, and the fact that it's only 2 years old, I think, shows that this iPhone is not that old of an iPhone, but I do think it's a beautiful device when it comes down to it. Now, with iOS 18, this device has gotten a couple of improvements here and there as well. So number one, with this type of device, you are basically getting an iPhone that is going to be giving you a little bit of a better experience when it comes down to this new iOS version. So this phone, I think, originally came out with iOS 16. Now that we are on iOS 18, it does kind of give the advantage to this device of having more features, more improvements, and just a little bit of a better experience. The big thing to keep in mind here, though, is that you're missing out on Apple Intelligence. The iPhone 15 Pro got it, the 16s all have it, but this iPhone was one of the more expensive iPhones technically that did not get this newer version of, AI feature. Again, not that big of a deal probably for a lot of people, but it would have been really nice had you gotten that type of feature set on this device. I think it easily could have handled it. Unfortunately, it did not end up getting that feature. But beyond that, still a very good looking device. Still, iOS 18 is rocking this phone like a champ, and we don't really have too many issues when it comes down to that. Now, when it comes down to the performance level, this device is giving you a really good chipset still, an Apple A16 Bionic chip, and it's still giving you 6GB of RAM. The cool thing about this particular phone is that when I go through and compare this iPhone against all the iPhone 16 models, I'm still very shocked about how good of a job the iPhone 14 Pro does. The 14 Pro with its ProMotion display, with still having a large amount of RAM and all this other stuff, I think a device like this still does a really good job. And that's something that I absolutely love about this type of phone. You can basically go through and still have a really good performing device, and I do think this in and of itself is one of the more important things going on for this phone. It still holds up well, it does a really good job at a majority of things you throw at it, and I think getting a device like this makes a lot of sense to go and pick up. So, in my opinion, I think the iPhone 14 Pro still holds up extremely well in the later part of 2024. It may not be a perfect iPhone, but I think it's a very good device that I'm still a massive fan of for sure, without a doubt. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there for the most part. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.